Welcome to Techzine Talks. We're still at SAP Sapphire in Orlando, and we're talking to Maura Hameroff, ERP Product Marketing. Welcome.
Thank you.
SAP is pushing ERP on multiple fronts. You have the Grow with SAP program, you have the Rise with SAP program. Now you're changing your pricing a bit to be a bit more transparent towards your customer or potential customers. How should they look at all these different programs? What fits with which customer?
Let me try to simplify to help you and help our customers. So Rise with SAP and Grow with SAP, think of it as programs. So they are support and help resources to help the customers make the right decision and proceed with their adoption of ERP. They're not necessarily products. Rise with SAP has been developed with on-premise customers in mind. So it's based on the Rise with SAP methodology that looks like, what are the business processes that you have today? What do you move to the cloud? What's in your core that needs to be now a cloud compatible extensibility and no longer a modification in your core? So all of the programs, the tools that we put together in the Rise program are meant to help the customers through that decision process. In Grow, we have built Grow for net new customers. So think more of an in-product experience. So you have a digital discovery assessment that will help the customers before making a decision to understand the scope that they need in the ERP solution. And as they acquire the product, that gets directly integrated into the product. So just think of Rise and Grow as programs and support. Part of that is to actually help the customers decide which ERP and which additional line of business solution they need. A given customer, for example, as they go through a digital discovery assessment in the Grow program, the outcome could be public or private edition, depends on the scope that the customer needs. As customers are going through Rise, it's the same. We help our customers to make a decision based on what they have on-prem and what it would take for them to be successful in the cloud. And at that point, the customers can decide if private is the right outcome or if they're going to go straight into a SaaS solution, into a greenfield deployment. So think of those two as how we support the customer make a decision. And we have packages or bundles of products that will help the customers. You have SAP Cloud ERP Private. It's the bundle that we sell, and primarily with S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition in it. And we have the new options that we unveiled today with finance, SAP Finance, supply chain, etc. That those are the packages that we've developed around our SaaS applications, our SaaS business application.
Okay, that's good to know. So I wonder then, because you still have a lot of customers on your older ECC platform, they're going to use Rise with SAP to convert that into a more modern S/4HANA experience then?
Yes. Customers, ECC customers, a great example, and we have those customers in mind as we build Rise. And they could opt for a greenfield deployment. They could opt for a brownfield deployment. Depends on where they are and what level of modifications they have in their existing systems.
Okay. You also use a lot of AI to help those customers move from ECC to S/4HANA. Is that working for you? Is that something that you use a lot now, or?
So the answer is yes and yes and yes.
Okay.
We're embedding. We have a number of services, both services as service and technology, as well as professional service, in which we analyze where the customers are going to get the best gain, and where they're going to gain the most out of those, and that uses AI. So we have now AI embedded in Signavio, we have AI embedded in IX, we have AI embedded in the actual methodology as we are making the recommendations. We have AI throughout the tool chain, and we see gains of in the order of magnitude of over 30%. In terms of agility of moving out of what they have today on-prem in a customized way and move to a cloud model.
Okay. So technically you've done a lot to help your customers move from ECC to S/4HANA, but I guess there's also a lot of business change needed within the people and processes within the company, because people work in a certain way and they're used to it, and they usually don't want to change that because change is hard for people usually. So how much focus are you putting on that?
We put a lot of focus on this. I think I almost want to say that we invest in technology the same way we have in we invest in transformation, right? So, and that's why we offer those I'll just give you a couple examples here. So when you buy S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, for example, you get a whole set of services that will help you through onboard everybody in your team into the project, go through what kind of changes. And those changes are all the way from the process to the technology side of the house. We do workshops. We have help customers hands-on understand what it is. Our whole pre-sales organization is all oriented around how do we support customers to change their mindset and operations. So we have, like, when pre-sales are engaging with customers, that's actually how they approach the customer, is change management first and adopting a cloud agile mentality ahead of even talk about technology, right? Everything else that we've talked before about discovery of business processes, et cetera, comes after you have a conversation and customers understand what is it actually need. Because in the end, if the customer is not successful and does not achieve more with what we are selling, we are not going to be a partner of innovation for our customers. We're going to be a technology provider, and that's not what we want.
Okay. Do you think migrating from ECC to S/4HANA is the best way? Because Christian Klein, your CEO, said earlier that if you have a really complicated system, it's sometimes better to go for the greenfield approach and just start over again. But that makes the change for people even harder, because then they have to start from scratch. How do you look at that?
So customers have the option, and to be honest with you, we see customers going both ways. Yeah. We see customers adopting greenfield, and when we talk about greenfield, that's where the new packages that you're asking about, SAP Finance, SAP Supply Chain comes into play, and when we help the customers through that. We see customers adopting actually a mix of brownfield and greenfield. We see a lot of our customers moving from ECC environments that some of those solutions move to an S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. Some go straight into a SaaS solution. So we do see customers going through that entire journey. Yes, it requires change, but I wouldn't say it's more change or less change from a business processes standpoint. It's like that change, exactly the point that you were mentioning before. You want to be more agile, you have to adopt a cloud agile way of operating. And with that, you make a choice of what is the best technology and the best path.
There's also a lot to do about clean core, keeping the core clean so you can update to newer versions of S/4HANA more easily. A lot of customers still try to make changes. How do you look at that? Because I spoke to a customer earlier who said, yeah, we're at 97% clean core. And I'm like, yeah, why not do the last 3% on an extensibility platform so you can keep it clean? How do you look at that from an SAP perspective? But it makes it harder for them in the future to do migrations and upgrades. Yeah, I don't know. Now it depends on the adjustment you made. Thank you, Maura, for this nice talk. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with the next one.